I'm called the person that took the animal down to the sheriff. Why do you think that is? Because we destroyed every picture. I was offered some pretty good dollars already to take some media up there. I'm not going to tell you who. No one was allowed up there because they could have got shot or killed or eaten or whatever. Plus, why do I want to see, when we line up those bodies up there, people say, why did you line up all those bodies in that picture on the paper? Well, our pictures were involved. We stored all of them except for the sheriff one. Because I didn't want that picture to go out to the world without the explanations. I knew what would happen. A picture would go out with no explanation. That's how now all of a sudden I'm the one who kind of pulled the trigger. The sheriff was bright enough to know we had to do that. So that picture was taken, and I won't tell you who, by cell phone late that afternoon. And then it went to Australia, Europe. My daughter calls from England, 2 o'clock in the morning. Dad, why did you shoot these animals? My dismal daughter raised animals. Because the subtitle on the picture says, Sheriff so-and-so issued the order shoot to kill, and Jack Hanna Conservation supports decision, with no story. Now, what would you think if you're in Australia? You'd think, what is this animal doing? Me, or the sheriff. Without telling you that when we showed up, we had 45 minutes of daylight left. Tranquilization, folks, is very difficult. It's not like on TV when you pop something, it just plop falls over. It takes 30 minutes to an hour. It's called ketamine for cats. It's very powerful. Even in the zoo world, when we do this to a tiger, a lion, or a cheetah, the animal's calm. We know it has a tumor, let's say. We make sure it doesn't eat. We know exactly what it weighs. It takes all these things before you tranquilize it, especially a cat. It's very difficult. When you pop the cat, he just jumps a little bit, and he goes to sleep in an hour or so. These animals are so riled up, trying to kill each other. Plus, they're trying to kill the sheriff, the first guy that got there and shoot with a pistol, because he almost got taken out, if you know what happened up there that night. And just you go up there, picture yourself go up there in a car, and going, my God. 19 tigers, 17 lions, 4 grizzly bears, wolves, everything running around outside of St. Ohio. And I tell people, the Lord Almighty was over that town that day, that no one got. It's absolutely beyond a miracle, everyone, that those animals were found. That's why we lined the bodies up, because the foreman, some people were giving us different numbers. Oh, by the way, we only had 14 tigers. Well, they had something like 19. We only had this many. Nobody knew how many animals there were. So let's say we just walked away from them thinking we got 42 animals and there were 7 left. What would happen that next day? You see where I'm coming from? That's why they were laid out until we could finish the whole job and bury them up there decently. So 49 magnificent animals. The tiger, which by the way, I think will go extinct in the wild in the next 10 years. Now these weren't purebred. That leads to the fallacy in one of these things here. As I read yesterday, the state of Ohio Agriculture Department is trying to help us take this thing over, but somehow in the bill, which by the way is being discussed now, there was euthanasia. That when we have to go take these animals in 2014 from people that aren't doing the proper perimeter fencing, vet care, insurance policies, proper habitats, there's 6 things, or 7 that are very critical in this bill. Now all of a sudden, I guess the Department of Agriculture now can go ahead and decide they want to euthanize them. Isn't that tremendous? A tiger that might not be purebred but euthanized. And I'm sorry to say there's actually a zoo person in this state that has a pretty high position that believes that the animals in Zanesville we took to Plymouth Zoo should all be euthanized. Who is? Are they God? These aren't freaks, everybody. These might be an animal, not a perfect gene pool for what we call our SSP program. But no way will Jack Hanna or Plymouth Zoo have any part or this state of hope of euthanizing animals that don't need euthanized. That's one part here that has to be changed. Now, grandfathering an animal. I'm going over this, everyone, because whether you write anything or not, that's up to you. But I can tell you now, someone will get killed here if this thing isn't properly passed. It's that simple. It's that, because I didn't know the numbers existed in the state. None of us did. We just kind of just happened. So the other one is grandfathering. I have no problems with 2014 grandfathering in because some of these people really love it. Some very few have the house right. But now, think about that. If they know they can we already have this happening, by the way. If they know they have a grandfather in 2014, guess what I know one individual doing? He went out and bought 4 more tigers last week, out of state. Because he grandfather goes in. Now, grandfather has to be very, you go in there and you find out what animals there are. And then now that the bill said that they can live out their lifetime in these new facilities. And hopefully, if they live up to the rules, they can. So how do you go back? You think these animals live 15, 25 years. So how do you go back and know that it's the same exact tiger? Unless you take DNA. My God, say, well, how do I have to hire 100? I don't know how many people to keep track of DNA and everything of what is grandfathering in. I have no problem grandfathering in until 2014. At that point, if they have the right perimeter fencing and all this stuff, that's fine. You're going to hear in the papers, I've already read some article that we're taking the animals. You know, I'm sick of hearing, this is a free country, you do what you want to. You can't take anything. Well, you take a bomb out of the basement, I hope, can't you? You know, we're not taking anything yet. We're trying to give everybody an opportunity. Then I hear yesterday that this is going to cost 65 jobs in the state of Ohio. I shouldn't have said this, I apologize. I said, anybody got some Kleenex there? I can cry for 65 people. I don't mean that. I didn't mean it that way. I said it. I meant bring a tractor trailer load of Kleenexes and watch when 4 people get killed in things in Ohio. Then you have something to be proud of. Then you can use all the Kleenex you want. I'm sorry some people might lose their jobs. That's a bunch of hogwash in the first place, I think. These are people who already have the animals. If they lose their jobs, then I'm sorry. You want to kill somebody and really use Kleenex? You know, this is folks where I'm coming from. So if you want to help us, fine. If you don't, that's fine as well. I'm just telling you exactly what happened that day, without any political thing whatsoever. But I knew something. I was so excited when we got this first draft several months ago, and now, of course, you read here, it went out today, that it might be next week, and then it might be March. Oh, guess what? North Carolina's been working on it for 7 years now. But North Carolina doesn't have 300 or 400 tigers left for another state. See, there's a little bit of difference there. So I'm just asking your support to at least let them present a bill that we can either go or we can talk about this much of a hogwash. Because right now, it's just floating out there. And all we're doing is floating around with somebody running around here with a bunch of bombs in the state of Ohio. So that said, hope you don't have any questions, Vinny.